This is Smart 24 TV, where we definitely drive your businesses to that consumers, that final customer there. My name is Jorram Paul Ssonko, and we dive into our expert analysis of the day, our exclusive interview. Now today we are having with our theme of entrepreneurship here on Smart Mates Business. We're diving into the entrepreneurs that are actually changing lives of others and using community resources to actually guide them. When it comes to using community resources, when it comes to resources, you can never go short of renewable energy resources as well. Now biogas, among which is among these renewable energy sources that we do have, or sources of fuel, and it's a mixture of gases that is produced by organic matter in the absence of oxygen and other than that. But as we head into this particular discussion, we're going to get to know of what is biogas, what is it made of, and what can you use biogas for, and is it harmful to the humans anyway? All right, now with me in studio, I do have a gentleman from Kanzi Energy Limited who is going to introduce himself to the viewers. You're welcome to the show, sir.
Okay, thank you. I'm so humbled and privileged to be here today to talk about biogas, a sector in renewable energy. I'll start by introducing myself. I'm Kule Justus from Kainza Energy, working as the operations officer. I have a bachelor's degree in environmental engineering. Okay. So this gives me the confidence to talk about biogas.
To talk about biogas as first of all, break it down for us. What is biogas energy to anyone out there who wants to understand the reason as why you're into this business? What is biogas?
Yeah, biogas is gas obtained from decomposition of organic matter. The organic matter is, we can have manure, agricultural waste, human waste, we have cow dung, waste from cows, we have waste from pigs. All that can be able to give us biogas, decomposition that occurs anaerobically in the absence of oxygen.
Can human waste give biogas as well?
Yeah, it does.
So which gives more biogas if you're to look at human waste and animal waste? Is it a mixture of the two, or you come up with chicken droppings give us the highest, followed by cow dung, then human waste. Yeah, but also a composition of two can also stand like in second position in terms of biogas. Okay. Yeah. And what does now, you did mention about Kainza Energy Limited, if that is the right pronunciation. Yeah. Kainza Energy Limited. What do you do as a company? Do you only based on biogas production, and what else do you base on?
So at Kainza Energy, we believe that clean cooking is the way to go. So in dealing with biogas, we also have other products like briquettes that are locally made by our people, okay, to ensure that the environment is safe and to ensure that this environment is sustainable for generations and generations to come.
All right. What do you mean by clean cooking?
So clean cooking, now we look at sources of energy used while while cooking, without having to affect the environment. Okay. It's what we call clean cooking or green cooking.
So clean cooking is not all about making sure. I actually thought clean cooking is having a set. Okay, my understanding was like when someone says go and clean your utensils and something.
Yeah, I get. No, okay, like in this way we are referring to a proper way and clean way of cooking without having to harm yourself, the health of yourself, then also the environment that is sustaining us to be here on earth. Yeah, that is the way.
That is what they call clean cooking. Yeah. And clean cooking, this brings us to renewable energy resources. Yeah, exactly. What, in a context of someone who wants to come and pick something from Kainza Limited, we want to understand what is renewable energy in that form.
Okay. When we are talking about renewable energy is energy that doesn't get depleted.
It does not get done?
Yes, like it keeps on renewing. Okay. So like example of biogas, like we have said, it is generated from human waste, food waste, municipal waste. These wastes are always there, day out, day in.
Okay.
So that makes it belong to the renewable resources. We have other examples like geothermal, hydropower. Like now a case of hydropower.
Okay.
We have water, so that makes it renewable. So now for biogas, it falls under renewable because the sources are the sources of us leading to biogas. What we call the feedstock is there in excess and in plenty. So we have it daily and it never gets depleted. So that makes it renewable energy in brief.
You did mention about chicken droppings, chicken droplets being part of the renewable resource, and you said they produce the most power. How do you, I think that the chicken droppings are very few. How do you collect these?
For someone who needs biogas from chicken droppings, we emphasize on a certain grazing, will I call it grazing? Keeping birds, yeah.
Okay.
It has to be cage, so that we need that pure chicken droppings.
Okay.
Than having the other one of deep litter where we have a mixture of cotton waste and the droppings. Okay. But this one here in cage, we can be able to collect this waste all together and take it for.
All right. Now, as Kayinza Energy Limited, why did you choose biogas to be your main center of focus?
Yeah, at Kayinza, like I said, we believe that safe cooking, affordable and clean to our people is a way to go. So with biogas, in generating it, we have many other advantages. Like we have waste management in it. So it means we are getting rid of all the waste we are collecting in our areas, okay, and being put into proper use than just being dumped anywhere. Then secondly, socio-economic growth. We believe that for us to push this dream, we need to come together as a community, we need to come together as Africa, as Uganda, to achieve this dream. So in coming together, we can have small scale holder farmers giving us or providing us with waste. We can have the youth getting skills in renewable energy. We can have very many sectors coming together, and we build the country together.
Okay. Now take us through some of these steps that you have, that you normally take, from maybe just a few primary steps that you take after getting these depots, maybe the human disposals, and which steps do you take in to actually come up with the rightful energy that you need?
Okay, so we have very many kinds of biogas systems. We have a fixed dome that we normally emphasize because it is long lasting. So a case in a point for the fixed dome, we shall have our waste collected, okay, from any source. So maybe we say we have collected cow dung, so we bring it. We have a system called the biogas system, the biodigester. We have a component called the mixing chamber. That's where we bring this cow dung, we feed it in the mixing chamber, we add water in some ratios, okay, then we are able to mix. After mixing, it goes in now the digester, like which we call the stomach, for digestion, okay, for some time, which we call the rentation time. So after that rentation time, we shall have now the gas settling on top.
Which time are we talking about here? Is it a period of some month or
no,
a few days?
A few days, like a week.
Okay.
Can start having the gas generated with other factors in place, like the pH, the temperature. Yeah, so we can be able to have this biogas generated.
All right. And now let's talk about the effect that biogas has on society, because it is quite different from any other source of, and what actually makes it different, because now the effect is going to make it different from other sources of fuel, and why you would choose to tell someone that this is the right turn to go to in terms of energy for fuel.
Like first of all, biogas is eco-friendly.
Okay.
You don't pollute the environment. In other words, you are saving the environment. it has no harm on human. So it means someone who is using biogas is not concerned about his or her health, especially our mothers, where we find that 80%, 85% of our mothers do the cooking, and they always have toddlers around them. So if someone is using maybe source of energy as charcoal or firewood, there is that smoke that comes up, and we know the effects of smoke.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So then the other one is with using the gas from waste in a form of energy. It's a great way of combating global warming. Global warming here we are looking at in cases where we are supposed to be in a wet season, but because of global warming we are having the dry season. So having seasons shifting from what we used to know, to the extent that we can't be able to plan when are we supposed to be farming, when are we supposed to be clearing our land, something like that. So with the use of biogas, we can be able to combat all those challenges. Then also biogas generation helps to preserve the soil and water pollution, because this comes in as, you know, waste management. It goes back to waste management. When we manage this waste properly, we don't have leachate leaking into the soil, into the groundwater table. And we know that most people in our community survive on groundwater.
Yeah, sure.
So if this water is contaminated, we are going to have many issues. So you come in and say, no, let us have this waste put into use and have gas out of it that we can use as energy which can be used as electricity. It can be used as light for biogas lamps, then also cooking. Yeah, then the other one, it is also a simple and low-cost technology that encourages circular economy.
Okay.
Yeah, mainly.
Okay. And let's talk about the cost of this biogas, biogas systems that you have, the cylinders I mentioned. Do you have cylinders with you of biogas? Okay, so let's mention about that biogas systems, the biogas cylinders. Let's talk about the cost. If we're to look in, what is the price rate for someone who is actually whom you're encouraging to go for your biogas?
Okay, like I said, it is a low cost initiative. So if someone is looking, because we believe that waste is always there, we always see trucks of garbage being taken to the landfills.
Yes.
So we believe waste is there, and some of the people have the material, because now for the kind of a fixed dome where we just need bricks, mortar, and maybe labor, of which these are also available. So the cost is surely not that expensive like people think, but it is a low cost. Then we go into now urban areas where waste is enough, but they don't have space. So we come in and say, no, we can package this gas into cylinders. But then there are those other challenges, but everything is possible if we scale up. If we scale up the production of biogas, we can have access to biogas at a cheap cost of like 1,500 Ugandan shillings.
Ugandan shillings. 1,500.
Yeah.
That's actually a very cheaper price. Now, I would want also to understand, how does the company do benefit? Because when you come at a low-cost initiative, you'd want to understand that any business entity out there starts up something, regardless of whether it's a low-cost initiative, but there is always a way in which you can actually get something from your business, because the nature of starting up a business, or the main goal of starting up mainly business, is actually to earn something out of it, either in a short term or a long term. Now we do have the Kaiser Energy Limited here dealing in biogas sectors, and clearly I would want to also understand, how does the company benefit from a low cost initiative? Okay,
for us, we believe that supporting our mothers to cook in a proper way and in a well way is key to us. So we ensure that besides all the factors of having to get in revenue, yes, that comes in, but we also look at the major impact that if we have environment being sustainable, we can live properly on earth.
Okay.
Yeah, we have seen many people come in and put actions to environmental renovations, create the environment to be able to sustain us. So that is our main aim. We benefit through that. If this environment is sustainable, we can have many other aspects to do with the environment.
Okay.
Yeah. Then the other is we feel that our work will be able to enable food and energy in the communities. Because if we have a cheaper and affordable clean source of energy, it means we are impacting on the community. The community, like I'd said before, the soil and water are able. Then also the other aspect of biogas, we can also get fertilizers. These fertilizers go back to our gardens, our farms, to improve on the fertility of the soils. That's helping us to have more on food security. Yeah. Then the other one is assuring that people, and most especially the women, mothers, that they cook in a cleaner way as opposed to fire, wood and charcoal. Like we just have a motive that we drive towards too, and that gives us a comfort. Yeah.
All right, now mentioning about renewable resources, something just crossed my mind. Do you know of these charcoal balls?
Yeah.
There are some of these charcoal balls. Should we consider them as part of the renewable ways of using fuel? Or are they also safer for what you termed as clean cooking in the environment?
I wouldn't advise that.
No, but actually, because do you know why I did ask? Is because I'm seeing people using their local. They use some of maybe cow dung or the disposables of the goats, and to make this charcoal. So I actually thought it's also.
Okay. Those are the ones we call briquettes.
Briquettes. Okay.
Yeah.
So those are the ones I'm calling charcoal.
Yes. So I was confused by the charcoal thing. Yeah. So, but the briquettes is also part of renewable because they try to save the environment, and the source in which they get them is what makes us term them as renewable.
Okay.
And they're also safe to use, like I'd said. Yeah.
Science is quite very funny, and if you get science and English and put them together,
true.
You get confused. Briquettes and kagambo kapyanyo nti abamu kufetuba twamanyira nti charcoal balls ewakeyo omuzadde agenda nakola mama wange zikere bisere bimwe tufuna obudde tusobola obukola ki netufumba ne bubanga bunamungodi kachivula banze badde manyi it is actually a charcoal ball. Okay, so yeah. When you said briquettes, I was actually confused about that.
And actually it makes also there are people in our communities that know them as charcoal balls. So because according to how they make them, some use charcoal dust to make them. So people, through some can call them charcoal
so
balls.
Now for you, what do you use?
Yeah, so there also you can get banana peelings.
Okay.
You dry them. Yeah, then you get clay.
After drying them, like you just mix them along.
Yeah, you crush them, then mix them with clay, then some bit of water. Yeah.
No, something I also want to understand that I did not clearly get. If we're getting like biogas, I've got my human waste already there on board. Is there a chance for me to mix it with anything else? What do you mix? I want to talk at, now let's look at the mixture. I've got my human waste or my cattle waste, the cow dung, and I want to come up with biogas. What do I need to mix? If at all I'm at home and I want to do something on a home basis, something small for myself.
Okay. Now, for biogas, you already have the waste. Like maybe if you're talking about human waste.
Okay, let's take to human waste.
Okay, human waste.
Because people will actually feel...
some people feel it disgusting. Or we can use cow dung, that is always readily available for people who have cows. When we have cow dung, we have a ratio of cow dung and water that we mix, mainly that, cow dung and water in ratios. So maybe, let me say, if we have 1 wheelbarrow of cow dung, we have like 2 wheelbarrows of water to just make it semi-liquid.
Okay.
So that it can easily flow in, then digestion takes place. Yeah, mainly that. As long as you have your structure on ground and you have the source of the waste, you can have your biogas.
Okay. Now let's talk about the final stages, because now I'm imagining I've finished doing this. I'm on my home setting. Now for you, like someone who's already a professional on this, you have your own terminologies in science that for you can use. Now imagine someone has already used all these mixtures, the cow dung, what else? What happens? Do we claim that now that is already a finished product?
Kati woba ofunye cow dung, then namazi you've mixed and you've feed into the the stomach, that is the biodigester that is laid underground. So we shall have, like, for the initial start, if you're starting the process for the first time, you can have like 7 days, then you'll start receiving your gas. The next day you add, it will be now instant.
Okay.
Because it is now a recurring process. That maybe we say we started pouring in obusaku Sunday, then in tutandika okufuna gas ku maybe Monday, after 7 days, then olunaku olulala ku Tuesday bwojja n'otekamu, that same day after a few hours we'll start having the gas to cook. Then on the other end, which we call the expansion chamber from now olubuto, like how you can eat food, digestion, then you go to the toilet. Yeah, so we shall have the expansion chamber having what we are calling now the fertilizers. You can get it, doesn't smell, doesn't what, get it, take it to the garden.
All right. He did mention about human waste. But when it becomes waste, it becomes disgusting to many. But then if you're using the system, I for one was actually mention about the fact that about waste. I remember back then I had issues when it comes to waste. Nganja no kwata mbusa naye kyatuka kaseera ne manyira kwata mbusa no kwata mu bawita kiringi bwa mbuzo kiringi some name there that closes my mind ndi kwata ne bimanyira the chicken droppings zol kat. I think even the human waste I would definitely be good to go because it is actually the same thing if you wash your hands. Now before we even say or give our final remarks, let's talk about what people should know mainly about renewable energy in terms of maybe biogas and also clean cooking, as you put it out.
Like I said, renewable energy is energy from sources that naturally replenish, but not flow limited. Like vivawo,
they are available.
They are available.
Okay.
So renewable energy is available, and we have many sources. We have biomass, we have hydropower, we have geothermal, we have solar, wind.
Okay, hydropower is one that works like electricity.
Yeah, hydropower generated from water. That's why you have the dams and all that. Yeah. Then renewable energy plays a big role in having energy security in our country. Like in Uganda, most of our electricity is hydro.
Okay.
That's why you have the Karuma, we have the Naruvale Dam. Yeah. So this renewable energy helps us combat greenhouse gases.
Okay.
Gases, like when I'm talking about greenhouse, I'm looking at the effect of having too much heat reaching the ground, the ground than we should because of these gases, because the sun heats and there is nothing to absorb that heat, so it reaches us on the ground, then it is again reflected back. So you find we are having high heat ranges than we should have. So when we go into renewable energy, we are fighting that effect, and then also climate resilient actions that will help us have a sustainable life. Because if we are also to look at the SDGs, we can't achieve them if we are polluting the environment. Like if I'm to give you some bit of statistics,
all right.
That
those statistics are regarding the matter of renewable energy.
The reason as to why we should emphasize renewable energy.
Okay.
That in the process of producing charcoal, first of all, we have to cut firewood. That is deforestation. We are losing forest cover.
We have to burn.
We have to burn. That is what they are calling the carbonization process. And 0.5% to 0.5 to 10 bags per carbonization process. So it means that omuntu agenda kola amanda in that car killing kwa katono agenda funamu either 10 bags abanji because they think it is a source of income. Yes. Without looking at a picture or broader view. So per process eyo 10 bags, and how many kilograms are we, and each bag is like 50 maximum if it is of good wood kilograms. But how many kilograms are we consuming in Kampala? Today in Kampala alone, we are going to use 837,000 kilograms of charcoal.
A day, a month, or
a day?
A day.
A day. That is in a dry season. In a wet season, we are using over 1 million kilograms of charcoal.
And also not even forgetting the people who are actually using these normal gas cookers.
Yes.
Okay.
So these are just people using charcoal. So we go back and look at how many carbonization processes have occurred for us to achieve all this quantity of charcoal to be supplied. So it means our environment is surely getting depleted. Because as per the statistics, around 2010, they're already telling Ugandans that the forest cover can no longer sustain us for many years to come. So you will find that maybe now for schools that consume much of the firewood, find that they will start exporting firewood because we can no longer be able to sustain. But if we go into renewable energy, the little that we have can be saved. And we know then with other actions like planting more trees, can have our environment gained back. It all comes back to the efforts, to the different partners that we need so that we can achieve that goal. Yeah.
So I do feel you now. Before we actually finally give a final assessment, is there any special course that someone has to do at university or any other institution of higher learning regarding this particular biogas sector?
As of now, I think there is no university that is lecturing renewable energy. It just comes as a bit of it.
A course unit?
Yeah, a course unit.
Okay.
But at Kayinza Energy, we give out these trainings to the youth, to those people interested.
All right.
Then we employ them with a skill. After getting these skills, maybe in briquettes, maybe in biogas, after getting these skills, like I said, we are packaging this biogas.
Okay.
So we are able to come back to these people, get the gas from them, take them to the consumers.
All right.
Where we have an app called Kayinza app, Africa's first online selling app for renewable energy.
I thought first selling app for renewable energy. Now, Mr. Kule, just as your last few remarks to anyone out there before we finally end the show in 1 minute.
Yeah, it is my humble request to the different organizations, to our government, that the dream of renewable energy is the way to go.
Okay.
With renewable energy, we are able to cut some of these expenses. May I believe that we have gotten cases of our mothers suffering with cancer because not that they smoke, but because of the source of energy they are using. And such costs health-wise can be compromised by having renewable energy. So I believe for us to have a sustainable environment that will sustain even our grandchildren to come after us, we need to look into renewable energy. And at Kaiza, we are ready to partner with anyone that is of such a dream, so that we push this, and surely our mothers, because they do the most of the cooking, that they are safe and the environment is safe at well.
All right, thank you very much. Oyono Yemwami Kule Justus from the Kaiza Energy Limited. They're actually on an initiative to actually promote or encourage clean cooking, like he had to put it out. Clean cooking which involves conserving the environment in terms of what you're cooking or which fuels you're using. They're mainly best in the terms of the biogas sector, but they also deal in other things, but mostly in the line of renewable energy. Now, Smart Means Business does stop at this particular moment in time, and thank you for joining us from where we did start up from. I'm Jorram Paul Ssonko. Get me on Twitter at Jorram Paul Ssonko, on Facebook and Instagram at Jorram Paul Ssonko as well. Meanwhile, do follow us on Smart 24 TV, Twitter, Instagram and Facebook, so that we drive your business. Smart Means Business does stop now.